A quorum being present, the business meeting of the task force on the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump will come to order. The task force is meeting pursuant to notice to consider its final report and recommendations, and pursuant to notice and pursuant to Section 2A and 2 of H-Res 1367, I call up the final report of the task force on the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump. The clerk will designate the report.
Final report of findings and recommendations.
I recognize myself for 5 minutes for a statement. Now, House Resolution 1367 was adopted in the House of Representatives by a 416-0 vote on July 24th. The resolution established the task force on the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump. Section 2, Clause 2 of the resolution directed the task force to issue a final report of its findings to the House not later than December 13th, 2024, including any recommendations for legislative reforms necessary to prevent future security lapses. Today, the task force is meeting to fulfill this charge and consider the final report of findings and recommendations. The report is the product of an investigation spanning just under 5 months by the task force. I commend my partner and friend, Ranking Member Jason Crow, all the members of the task force, the staff of the task force, and all the staff of the members who supported this investigation. I also want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson and Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries for working together to launch and support the needs of this investigation. This support includes the passage of House Resolution 1470 in September, which expanded the mandate of the task force following the second attempt to assassinate President-elect Trump, on September 15th in West Palm Beach, Florida. Our work has underscored that there is bipartisan ground for working together to protect our democracy from threats of violence. I'm especially proud of the work the task force has completed to get clear and complete answers about the security failures that occurred in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th. This report and the transcripts we will release thoroughly explain the multiple points of failure that occurred that day. It's also a roadmap for addressing the issues that contributed to and revealed problems inside the world's premier protection entity. The task force received substantial cooperation from the Secret Service as well as state and local entities, which allowed the task force to make clear findings and recommendations about security failures. However, the same cannot be said for all questions about July 13th. Shooter Thomas Crook's motivations remain largely a mystery, despite repeated requests from information from the FBI and the Department of Justice, which were never shared information about Crook's online activity, notes, or transcripts of interviews with his family and members of other associates. Limitations on information shared with the task force restricted our investigation from creating a clear picture about who Crooks spent time with, how he spent his hours online, or where he traveled in the days and weeks leading up to his assassination attempt. Leaders in the next Congress may wish to continue investigating these and other outstanding questions. One of the topics our bipartisan report covers are areas where we asked for cooperation from federal agencies and did not receive it. We also include a recommendation to Congress that it should find means to clarify its right to obtain law enforcement sensitive information. I'm really proud of the work the task force has done in a very limited time frame. As I said earlier, the 13 members of Congress were all running for re-election at the same time. They were going through primaries that were still on the calendar. They were going through a general election. But the people who never walked away from the task was the staff. I think that type of dedication is absolutely extremely, one of the things that the American people look for. How dedicated are you to the task you were given? And the answer in this case is extremely dedicated, and they did great work. Now, my constituents in Butler have expressed gratitude for the work of the task force. It was great from a standpoint not of what it was that we were tasked to doing, but the fact that at a time when it's recognized that you guys can't work together on anything. You guys find faults with everything that you do, and you just don't, this was never political. This was never political, but the task we were given and the task that the task force did is off the charts at the top of everything I've ever done since I've been in Congress. I now want to recognize Ranking Member Jason Crow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to dovetail on the chairman's comments, this task force was created after the July 13th attempted assassination of President-elect Donald Trump. because America deserved answers. They deserved answers as to how something like this could happen and how it would be fixed. But they also deserve to know that members of Congress in a bipartisan way could come together and condemn political violence and say there's no place for it in our country. And they also needed to know that there are folks here who are willing to roll up their sleeves and do good work that needs to be done and fulfill their duties and put politics aside for the good of the country and to get answers that everybody, regardless of your political affiliation, deserves to have, and to restore trust and confidence in that process. And I am very proud of this final report because it does all of those things. And the process itself actually did those things. The hearing today was a great example of it. It was robust, it was thorough, it was serious. The members came here with the charge to ask tough questions, to get answers, and to tell the story, and that is what happened. I also want to reiterate what the chairman said about the largely very cooperative posture of the federal government in responding to our requests for interviews, responding to our requests for documents, with the exception of the Department of Justice and the FBI, which did not give us some very critical and important information that we believe the American people still need to know. And if their intent was to slow walk us beyond the mandate or the purview of this committee, they are sorely mistaken, because you have members on this task force that sit on committees of jurisdiction that will be coming in next Congress that will still get that information. Right? America deserves to know what happened with Mr. Crooks, what his motivations were, who else he was talking to. That is an important part of the story. Now, our report is thorough, it's comprehensive, it gives many of the answers that America deserves to know, but they still do need to know those remaining pieces, and I commit to work with every member of this task force, even after this task force sunsets in a couple of weeks, to ensure that that happens. I want to thank the staff. I said this earlier in the hearing, that the product that we are going to be voting on and will release is the work largely of the staff that put their lives on hold, that missed important life events and family events, who left different law practices, different positions within government to come and actually do their patriotic duty as Americans and provide answers to this country and to serve the members. And their dedication, their professionalism, their work ethic is really second to none. So I want to recognize once again the incredible work of the staff, both Republican and Democrat, in doing that incredible work. And I want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson and Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries for actually working bipartisanly to set up this task force. And they both told us, me and the chairman, they said how they wanted this to go, that they wanted it to be serious, that was their intent. And they set that tone themselves at the very outset of this. In fact, the chairman and I, neither the chairman and I were seeking these positions and these appointments, but I'm glad that they partnered me with Chairman Kelly, who was a wonderful partner, and it's been one of the best experiences actually in my time in Congress, working with the chairman, working with the other members in a very serious and robust way. And this hearing was actually one of the best hearings that I've been a part of in my time in Congress, with the seriousness, the professionalism, and the attention to detail that everybody brought to it. So with that, thank you again, and I look forward to the remainder of the business meeting here in releasing this report in due time to the public.
Thank you, Mr. Crowe. Do any other members seek recognition? No? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the task force favorably report the House to the House.
We got to go to amendments?
Okay. All right. Say, without objection, the report is considered read and open for amendment. Does anyone wish to make an amendment? None being seen. I now recognize Mr. Crowe for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the task force favorably report to the House the task force report.
The question is on the motion to favorably report to the House. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
Mr.
Motion to
Chairman,
move-
could the record reflect it was a unanimous vote?
Yes, yes, we will. The motion to forward the report to the House of Representatives is agreed to. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Without objection, the staff is authorized to make any technical and conforming corrections and to include the actions of the meetings today. Okay. So without objection, pursuant to House Rule 11, Clause 2.1, all members are entitled to submit to the clerk of the task force within 2 days any supplemental, minority, additional, or dissenting views. Okay, so before we adjourn the task force, I want to congratulate the members on the bipartisan nature of this task force. It's been a privilege and an honor to work in cooperative and bipartisan manner. And I also want to thank all of the members of the staff of the task force, and I think Jason's touched on it, and we keep repeating it, but it deserves repeating. The task force did incredible work at a time that was so compressed. They really were dedicated to it. They stepped out of their private lives to come and do this, which is a tremendous patriotic thing to do. I also want to thank the Office of the Official Reporters for their quality staff in covering the meetings and many, many interviews and conducted. So there being no further questions, the task force stands adjourned. Now, members,
Please stay for the picture.
yes, please. We want to have a team picture.
Because we all know it